Yeah, I got an interesting call today. A lady I know was told at her job that she could not speak Spanish. Hello, remember? And she and two other Puerto Ricans used the two-way radio that bus drivers use at this location. And the other bus drivers get on the two-way radio and talk about crazy stuff. The other employees will talk about getting chicken, getting lunch. Bluegrass, oh my gosh. Hello, Freddie Hinkle. And she called me today to tell me that the second in command at transportation, a black female, said, "You guys cannot be speaking Spanish on the radio." And they simply say to each other, if they're communicating whatever pertaining to the bus, whatever they'll say, buenos dias. They don't have conversations. And the second in command said, if you walk into a nail salon and you're getting your nails done and the people that run the salon are speaking in their language, don't you think that they're talking about you? I thought, well, that nail salon is Asian, and if you choose to go there and they're going to speak in their language, I don't know if they're talking about me or not, but they're providing a service, and they're doing a good job, so what's the problem? Hey, Tennessee. So it's a black female telling a Puerto Rican woman they cannot say Spanish because black people are complaining they're talking in Spanish and they're probably talking about us. Let me get this straight. The black people at transportation it's frozen here. The temperature's dropping fast. We got snow on the ground. The people with transportation are complaining and getting offended because they think they're being talked about. That's funny. They spoke English and they were talking about me behind my back, but I still knew they were talking about me. So it doesn't matter what language you speak, but I know this girl and I know she's not doing that. They're not having conversations. And she went back to her other two Puerto Rican fellow employees and said, yeah, I just got told. And they both said, that ain't right. Hello, metalhead. Bluegrass, I cannot believe. Yeah, it snowed here, Bluegrass. It's crazy. Yeah, I've got the kitchen faucet on a drip already because they're talking dangerous lows tonight. My pipe that comes into the house runs up inside the wall. It's insulated, but the north wind's hitting that wall hardcore. Like, you know what? This is why I don't like living in the South. We're getting too much of this stuff. The houses aren't built for this. Your furnace goes out, you're hosed. I mean, this is crappy. I'd rather live up north where they're used to it and deal with this than down here. So the other Puerto Rican said, well, I know somebody. I know somebody in the board, and I'm going to make a call. Well, that person in the board contacted the second in command of transportation. She's an African-American woman. And I don't know what they said to her, but she obviously got spoken to, spanked, whatever, as she should have. And here in Georgia, every year, those of us that work in the school bus, the education, have to take the GADOE. That's the Georgia Department of Education. And it's about certain things involving the educational system here. And it talks about harassment, workplace harassment, that when you go through chain of command and you feel you're not getting anywhere and you go to somebody else to turn in something, you're not to be harassed or badgered or revenge. So my Puerto Rican friend, I don't know if she was called up there or walked in, and that woman called her in and was very irritated and said, "This has gone too far. I did not tell you couldn't speak Spanish. I told you can't have long conversations." She said, "That is not what you said. That is not what you said. You told me, and I don't have long conversations on there. You told me you cannot speak Spanish." If anybody from this transportation is listening, this was communicated to me. So don't get mad at me. It wasn't enough that they fired me because they don't like the fact I voted for Trump and I speak the truth regarding the African American race. And I read this employee the disgusting letter that the superintendent of the school district wrote to me, and I encouraged her and gave her the phone number, email, and contact to somebody higher up and said, "Please send him an email about exactly what you told me about." And there are other things happening. She suddenly is not getting any, she does field trips and extra stuff. And she needs that. Suddenly they cut her trips. She said, "Why am I not getting the trips?" They said, "Well, you're getting too many." I remember when I worked there, they were begging for people to do trips. So somebody's willing to do that. Hello, Justice Jane. And now they're slighting her by not giving her the work that she needs to pay her bills. She said, "Mike, I feel like she's mad at me and I'm in her radar." And I said, "She is, most likely." And I said, "And you need to contact the contact that I give you. Send them an email, document all this. And you need to state that you felt uncomfortable, that you were not the one that called somebody from the board, that somebody else did it, and you're being harassed and made to feel uncomfortable because somebody else called that in." When you are at work and somebody corrects you for something, you do not go back to that employee and say, "You told on me." You can get in trouble for that. Justice Jane, how are you? We live in an interesting world right now. This woman that's second in command has a power problem. While I was there, she was trying to take authority over my boss, who was a black man. She has no authority over that department. And she would yell at me to do something. I said, "Hold it. You're supposed to let my boss know." And he lets, "No, Mr. Nelson, I do not. I'm over all these people." That's not what I was told. And she stressed follow chain of command, but she's breaking it. Hello, Thomas. The workplace. And my friend feels like she and two other Puerto Ricans. She said, "You remember when I started, I was the only one here?" I said, "Yeah." Now I think there's what, four? And I get along with the Puerto Ricans. I don't have any problem with them. So are they being discriminated against? Does it say in the manual, "Thou shalt only use English on the two-way"? It doesn't. Now, I can understand if drivers are getting on there and going blah, 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 and you got something to do that. We had a black female dispatcher, and I liked her. But she would get on there and play her gospel music and start singing, and no other driver could get through if they had a problem in the bus. Hello, Bon White. And they never said anything about that. There were drivers that would keep doing things that they're not supposed to. Where's my ride or die? Where's my ride or die? And they go back and forth. You gonna get some chicken? Yeah. I'm like, are you serious? You guys are talking about chicken on the two-way radio. When I worked at Denver Public Schools, the dispatcher would get on and say, that is unnecessary use of the radio. Please clear the channel. And if they did it again, they got written up. So is discrimination being meted out to the Puerto Rican drivers that are there? Simply because they'll discuss something quickly or say, buenos dias, buenos dias. Yeah, it would be time for the company to change the manual and say, we will use only English on the two-way. But drivers have been told to cut out unnecessary chatter. And the same ones do it every time. The ones that know better. The ones that management looks the other way on. I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of stuff down here in Augusta, and it's a fact. Racism is being dished out by African Americans in Augusta, Georgia. Favoritism is shown them. I see it at the place I work now. They say hi to each other. They treat each other different. I'll say, how you doing? They don't answer. One will say, hey, man. The one I asked about his car. I said, man, he had a knock, brand new car. I said, how's things going? You don't need to worry about that. You don't need to worry about that. My supervisor asked him the same question in front of me yesterday. He goes, oh, man, and all nice and everything. See, my supervisor has the power to fire. I don't. There's a certain percentage of African-American people that are running around the yard in their underwear. And I was rereading the letter that the superintendent wrote saying some of Michael's coworkers were offended. Offended? Because I said the truth about the black community. Have you heard what they said at the workplace about whites, about Trump, about conservatives? Oh my gosh. And I've noticed something about the way it goes today. I'm all right, Bon White. What is lapping over and over? What's going on? Can anybody hear me okay? Hello, Jay. Don't tell me the cold weather's affecting the stream. What is lapping and over for me? Am I being heard clearly? Is the chat working? Is the audio working? Somebody give me a like. Oh, loud and clear. There we go. Thank you, Greg. So I had a 3-hour conversation on the phone today. She's a good employee. They've not had a problem with her. I think it's funny when the second in command of transportation brought up, if you go into a nail salon, you're getting your nails done and they all speak a different language. Honey, you're stepping out of your element. Thank you, Bon White. Oh, good. Oh, Bon White, well, thank you. I talk about things a lot of people aren't going to talk about. You keep hearing the same thing over and over. Bluegrass, you might have to shut off your phone and reboot and come back in. I have lived in a country where they don't speak my language. I didn't think that they were all talking about me. Why is it that there's certain people in this country that they always think all of us are talking about them? I talk about them a lot because there's a lot to talk about. But the Puerto Ricans that work there are not a problem to anybody. Now, I admit my personal view on America, especially in regards to southwestern states and certain part of the country, you get a video, you call business and, say habla español or English. And I'm tired of that because this is America and English should be the dominant language. But we give preferential treatment language wise to Spanish speaking. I'm not sure why we do that over and against all the other ethnic groups of different languages. Hello, Tish. Can anybody tell me what's going on? We got two ladies saying that they're hearing the same thing over and over. Can anybody tell me what's going on? Do I have to end the stream? Hey, cute kitty kitty. It is, Britte. It is. And I'm getting tired of it. I live in Augusta, and the reason I talk about it, I try to get away from it. I have been talking about a lot of issues. There we go. The chat just sped up. George is not hearing any issues. Tennessee is not hearing any issues. My stream is at full bars. Bon White can hear me. Justice Jane. Okay, guys, reboot your phones, please, that are having an issue. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, everybody. So I want to talk about this because it is like the toddler in the room. You go to church, you go to an event, and you want to hear the speaker, and you get a baby in the room crying. That just disturbed. You're trying to hear, and his baby's going screaming peas. And I've noticed, my observation over the years is this happens a lot with the leftist, Democrat voting, African American contingent within the continental United States. They're not getting the attention or whatever, and they got to fuss and cry and make a scene. That's my observation. I'm not being mean-spirited or racist. Just an observation, pattern recognition. And I wish I could put the picture of the HR lady that works there. I wish I could put the picture. I've got them on my phone. But I thought, nah, that gets too dicey. Neither one of these women have discipline over their... We're just going to stop right there. Just like this one. She was on The View yesterday screaming about the Second Amendment rights. Hello, Terry. This lovely, beautiful human being right here. Well, they've got the right to carry, that it's legal, and she was all versed suddenly in gun rights. This is the same woman who's been screaming about gun control, gun control, gun control, except in the case of Alex Preddy. Yes, decent blacks have black fatigue. I'm seeing more and more of them get on YouTube. I'd love for those decent blacks to descend on Georgia and just shake their head in Augusta and say, you guys are out there. This woman here should have stuck to Sister Act. She was good at that. She's not good at discussing political or intellectual subjects. She has the reasoning skills of a toddler. Now she's suddenly going to talk about gun rights, that there's nothing that says you cannot carry during a protest or otherwise. No, it doesn't, big girl. It doesn't. But he had come on January 13, went and spit and went, F you! Hostile, aggressive, very intimidating body language, and kicked out the taillight of a vehicle leaving. This is Alex Preddy, the nice little nurse that Elizabeth Warren is eulogizing. Yeah, she should have stuck to her day job. Commenting on social issues is not one of them. Yes, that's Whoopi. And I'm sorry, but when I see her, I'm not even going to say anything. That's kind of the impression I get. And I'm not being hateful. I'm just tired of her. I'm sick of her. I don't respect her. I don't have to respect her. And this TV show here, Bluegrass, you're funny. And then you see this. Let's see if I can find it. This here. I think it cut it off a little bit, but you all know what that stands for. Yeah, that show right there. Anybody know what that is? Anybody know? Somebody type it for me. They cut it off. Have words on either side of the V, but yeah, that's crazy. What does this show and this right here have in common? They're both full of crap. They're both full of crap. Nice toilet, huh? You got to go to the bathroom toilet. What you gonna do, buddy? Well, I'm probably going to go around back with a roll of toilet paper and leave a nice little present out behind the gas station. Chisel. Man. I can't stand The View. I would never watch it. I don't like the women on it. They are all slanted to the left. And it's not The View. That the very preposterousness of naming something The View is a joke. I have liberal fatigue. How can you say that that's even a rational, intellectual based TV show? At that point, just in your hand. Pretty much. That's the left bat signal. You know, and user, how is it that people take those women seriously? They're emotionally driven logic, purely emotionally driven TV show. They lack. How many times has Whoopi put her foot in her mouth on that show? How many times? She tried to imply that the Holocaust was not as bad as what happened to the slaves. Do you remember that? You gotta be kidding me. Gotham needs me, but only the liberals. Well, hi, Audrey. I didn't get my toilet cleaned today. Audrey, you want to help me clean my bathroom? I'm falling down over here, man. That is a toilet, let me tell you. I think at that point, I'd just rip it out and start over. But I want to bring up something. We talk about these crazy liberal women. Let's talk about this. Kristi Noem is under attack. Look at the difference between her and any woman on The View. What stands out to you? Kristi Noem was the governor of South Dakota. Now she's working for Trump. I forgot her position. But what do you see in the face and the hair? And what is the difference between her and Whoopi and the women on The View? Anybody want to venture to guess? where I'm going with this? Terry, that's not my toilet. I'm just kidding. What? You're not going to help me clean my bathroom? Come on, Audrey. I thought you were a trooper. You don't want to help me clean my pooper. She's beautiful. She looks approachable. She doesn't look nasty. I'm sorry. There's a big difference in conservative women that are actually doing something and trying to live on principle versus liberal lefties. Liberal lefties. Yeah, liberal lefties. Left liberals. She looks happy. She looks like she has a soul. There you go, Terry. What's AI, Audrey? That's not AI. That is a picture of her. I looked through quite a few of them. Yes, Tish. So, somebody said, Nikki, who's one of the moderators, I didn't know this. Bill Gates has STDs that he got from Russian prostitutes. Ooh la la, that had to be a basket of fun. And then there's an email where he was trying to slip his wife Melinda an antibiotic without her knowing that he had given her STD. Isn't that awesome? Here's a thought for you, gentlemen. Guy's worth tons of money. Audrey, what are you talking about? What is fake? Kristi Noem is not fake. And she does look like that. But Bill Gates has contracted STDs with Russian prostitutes, and he's trying to get an antibiotic to his wife without her knowing that he gave her an STD. And of course, I don't know where things are at, but I believe they're divorced. They're divorced now, right? Chad, how are you? The moral of this story is, yeah, that's Bill Gates. I mean, he's aging now. I don't care how brilliant you are, man. I don't care how much of the Bible I know. That little thing between our legs can get us in a lot of trouble. Always be aware of that. Audrey, I like you, but why are you going to come in and disrespect? Most of the people that come on this channel, we support Trump. And you're in another country hating on our president. Tell me why. Why you live in Scotland? What has Trump done to you? So do you believe CNN and the media? I mean, have you not seen what the media is doing in the US? They're lying. They are fake. And I've been very nice to Audrey. She's invited me to come and see her, and I would love to. But am I going to entertain this kind of stuff? I don't think Trump is perfect. I voted for Trump, and I have no regrets. I don't agree with every single iota thing he did, but I'll tell you what, if Kamala Harris, Biden had 4 years and he wrecked this country good. That's a fact. The reason all of our prices are still spiraling upward is because of all the crap he set in motion. Kristi Noem has done nothing wrong. Unlike the Democrats that are liars, they don't tell the truth. I'm sick of it. A top lawyer, do you know lawyers are Democrats in this country? Audrey, they vote left. So we're going to take what a lawyer says. Not politically, I'm not. They can talk about law, but they don't know nothing about politics. So who's the chosen ones? I didn't know there were any chosen ones. That's a rare thing, Terry. The bulk of the lawyers in the United States are leftists all the way. My attorney that I had to get years ago told me that himself. It is. It is. Hi, Tatters. How are you? Hi, Bridge. But it's also okay for other people to express something that doesn't agree with everybody else. And I'm going to give you a fair shot that I would be careful about hating on Trump. Bridge is in the room and she's going to speak her mind. And she's a lady. I'm not going to go into somebody's channel that's all lefty liberals and sit there and expect to win a debate with that. I stay out of there. You know, it's not a bootlicking channel. I don't lick the boots of anybody. And I think that that is an irrational statement. If you listen to my other stuff, there's things he's done I disagree with, like the Greenland thing. But if you need to leave, hey, you are free to go. Nobody's holding you here at gunpoint. See, that's the problem. If you vote for Trump, you're not open-minded. Do you see the false assertion he's making? I'm about as open-minded as a Christian and a conservative as you're going to see. Shoot, I'm wearing women's clothing. I bought this sweater today. This is a woman's sweater. I bought this top today with a slip underneath it. I am very unique. But I know truth when I seize it. So Trump falling asleep at meetings, that's a new one to me. Biden was doing that. Biden was falling asleep constantly, saying things like dog-faced pony soldier and mumble jumble. I was unaware that Trump was doing that. He wasn't tripping up Air Force One. Audrey, I don't need you to play that. You have a right to believe what you want, but I have a right to contest that. I'm not trying to attack, but you got to understand that from our perspective, do you see what's going on in the UK, Audrey, and France? So the people that are talking crap about Trump are the same people that are allowing illegals, refugees, and people to hate France, Parisian culture, London, UK, US, flood on in. And Scotland will do the same thing if they're not careful. Who was falling asleep during speeches, Biden or Trump, or both? I missed the one where he was. Coupe de Ville, the blouse is very comfortable. This is a comfortable sweater. Look, Bridge, I bought a woman's sweater and I like it. Biden, yeah, he couldn't even walk up the steps to the airplane. And I'm not making fun of that. What bothers me about that whole thing is he should not in his agedness, in his mind starting to deteriorate, he should have never been president. His wife should have been charged with elder abuse. Thank you, Bridge. And Bridge, I got this. I gotta be careful. This is more like a crocheted sweater. I don't want to snag it. And this is what I got. I love the color. It's even got a slip under it. It's awesome. Got the whole ensemble, man. Look, I get drowsy in church. I sometimes have to fight to stay awake. And part of the reason for that, a good old South don't believe in early morning service. They got to do everything at 11 o'clock. Half the day's gone. That is a free nipple shirt. If you don't have the slip, yeah. This is awesome, man. Sexy. I like the color. Well, thank you, Eternal. I appreciate that. And Bridge? Yes, Bridge, I like it when those show. I'm guilty. I like getting a free show. I can't have a girlfriend anyway, but having a free show once in a while is nice. This is what it looked like outside just an hour ago. This is the backyard, folks. Welcome to Georgia. Burning hot in the summer, sweating out of every pore. Nikki! Bill Gates sucks. Nikki, I was sharing the information you shared with me today about his STDs and friends. Yeah. Look, you want to see? Hi, Shannon. Shannon, you told me I'm glad you got snow, so I said I'll send you some, and you're like, no, thanks. You don't like it. I used to like it. Look, let's get the side view. In the backyard, I can build a snowman. Yep. Its darkness is falling, the temperature's falling, we got freeze warnings and all that good stuff. Isn't it fun? Man alive. I don't like the cold like I used to. There we go, folks. Now this temperature's dropped down into the 20s. Better watch some puddles because they're going to freeze. And if you go flying down here in your southern car, you're going to have a problem. Let's see, how we doing over here? In the meadow, we can build a snowman. Yep, I hole up in my room because I'm in a big old house by myself and I hang out in here. I didn't feel like doing anything today. Audrey, I'm sorry if you feel like I'm attacking you. I'm not. I'm trying to challenge you. We're supposed to get down to 18. Mr. E-Rock! I am not going to make a snow angel. It is colder than a witch's boob in a brass bra out there today. I kid you not. Why does this always flip around like that? There. Look at that. Bluegrass rolled into the room. Audrey, they both do have faults. But you have to, in America, you have to weigh who's causing the country the most harm. Would Scotland let me move there illegally and then ask for benefits and a free driver's license? Would Scotland allow that? Let's start with that. Would Scotland give me housing and food vouchers and get me settled into Scottish life if I'm an illegal? That's what they're doing. That's what the left has been doing. Terry, where are you at? And free schooling and everything else. When you got 12-year-old white girl in the UK walking to school carrying an axe in one hand and a knife in another because Muslims and people from other countries are grabbing her butt cheeks, approaching her, not caring that she's underage, not caring about a woman's boundaries, that's a problem. Let somebody come up and try to grab Bridge on the butt cheeks and watch what happens. They won't have any eyes anymore, and they'll be emasculated. Panama City Beach, oh my. Come in the right way or don't come in at all. Imagine if you had 10 million people show up in Scotland. What was the count of the illegals Biden let in? Anybody know? Was it 10 million? 2 million? How many was it? Especially if they don't offer a cheeseburger. Yes, it snowed. Shannon, where are you at? Yes, Greg. 12 million. Okay, so imagine 12 million of us decide, hey, let's go to Scotland. Let's go to Glasgow. We're all just going to move on in. And then after they give us all these benefits, we're going to wave the U.S. flag and say, Scotland's oppressive. We want rights. USA's better. That's what they're doing over here. It doesn't make rational sense. So when I look at both the parties, you have to vote for the lesser of two evils. Do I think the Republicans are God? No. But I can say this, by the power and the authority vested within me, the Democratic Party is evil. It is satanically under the influence of the devil. It's not just we agree to disagree. They are doing damnable things. They want to shred the Constitution. I still think of Nancy Pelosi when Trump was given the State of the Union, and she's tearing up a copy of that and throwing it in the air. That's a grown child. No decorum. That's a middle school little brat. Nancy Pelosi's known for being ridiculous. Regarding Obamacare, let's get this thing passed so we can see what's in it. Did you read the bill? Isn't that what you're paid? Isn't that what you're elected to do? I tell you what, the older I get, there's clear thinking and there's muddled thinking. The left, clear is not even in their vocabulary. Pelosi's awful. I'm not jumping down your throat. That's an exaggeration. Well, let me ask you this. You think Biden was clear thinking? You think Kamala was clear thinking? How about word salad queen? So what I wanted to say about transportation, when I got to talk on the phone to a Puerto Rican coworker when I was at transportation, she's still over there. She is now being, in my opinion, the victim of racial discrimination by a black second in command. She's not dealing with the blacks that misuse the two-way radio on a regular basis. She's firing at 3, maybe 4 Puerto Ricans that simply greet each other by saying buenos dias. Unlike some of the others that talk about where they're going to go to lunch and all the BS that has nothing to do with school bus operation. It's amazing how the double standard of the left is fully intact. Oh, Montel, what a clown. But I asked people that. Hi, Lady J. How are you? Hey, Stereo. Can you imagine if 12 million people descended on Scotland or Ireland or the UK or Paris? Do you realize the logistical nightmare of that? That's huge. But Audrey, who's the one that let them come in? Your leadership. So I'm criticizing the left. Trump is trying to stop that. That's what ICE is about. They're federal agents that were hired before Trump. Obama used them. Clinton used them. Now the left is protesting them because anything that Trump do, anything, the left is going to have a little temper tantrum when you're told, no, you didn't win the election. And that's what they do. Raise hell in the streets, character assassinate, call all of us names. You heard Ilhan Omar. She said, they're not going to do this forever. We're going to win the House and the Senate, and they're going to be over. What are you saying, Ilhan? You go up to these red states and tell them you're going to be queen over us and watch what happens. You think you got this? I can't stand Ilhan. You want to wear the pants, go back and do it in your Muslim country. The men there will shut you down. So you come over here, you want to hide behind Islam on the one hand, but in your country, the men would never let you be in political office. You are a hypocrite, Ilhan. Not to mention your bank account going supersized in a short amount of time. I think you need to go to prison, honey. I think you need to have a room with a view through bars. It's long overdue. Absolutely, Bridge. Absolutely. Remember, yeah, corporate America is a problem, and I've talked openly about that. Senator Kennedy said it well. If Trump was in favor of breathable air, the left would hold the breath. You know what excites me? Is a woman who believes in God and who believes in the truth conservatively, and she's pretty. I'll buy her a whole stack of cheeseburgers and tell her she's pretty. lady. La da 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 da. As I get older, something's happening to me. I got yellow fever years ago. I chased a woman in Hong Kong. I think Asians are awesome people. But I chased a woman that was not a good mix, good match. And I feel very strongly. I'm watching it happen in my daily experiences. Our race is under attack. And I say, we white people better group up, find ourselves a good wife, and better have a whole bunch of babies and start procreating so that we can stop the madness. Because if we don't reproduce, they are. All the people that hate us, they are having babies. Well, I can't talk about less work hours. We have no say over that. You agree to the terms of a job when you get a job, and we got to deal with it. I think Amsterdam or Denmark or Holland, I think they work 4-day weeks. I wish we would do that. 3 days off. We need a business day off so we can get piddly stuff done. Most of us work. We get off work. You got to go to the bank, the post office, all that. They're all closed when you get off. But greed drives the country. I love it when Democrats talk about rich Republicans. Where are these rich Republicans? Bill Gates, George Soros, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Oprah. Man, I'm looking around, and the people that got the money are leftists. If you added up their wealth, it might equal Solomon. I'm just saying. It is a problem, but what can I do about corporate America? All I can do is speak out. We don't have power anymore. We do not have power. God does. And all of us, if we want to tap into the power, had better get on our knees and start asking God. Because in in Egypt, 400 years of oppression went on, and God saw his people suffering, and he started to move. Be careful. Remember, be very careful. Bridge is not part of the problem. She's one of us. She's going to speak her mind. I'm just going to tell you that. She's one of us. Well, do you want to be pro China? Iran? This is where we live. I mean, I still own a house. My pay is low. I just got my W-2s, W-4s, whatever you call them. My total earnings last year were lower than they've been. 2 months of no work. And I'm learning that I better be thankful, and we better be thankful to God, because if we're fussing, God will say, all right, you're not happy? I'll take that away. We need to treat God as the boss. We need to treat God as our Father. We have got to stop looking at the nipple of our government to solve our problems. It ain't. It is deeply entrenched in a war with itself. We have got to trust in God. We have got to cry out and trust that our Heavenly Father is going to meet our needs. And if He doesn't, and we got to suffer, we have eternal life. and we leave this world, we are going to go home. No more 60 hours, no more low pay, no more taxation without representation. We will be in perfection with God. Remember, why are you attacking? Now, let me not use that. Why are you going after some of the moderators? These are solid people. That's why they were chosen. I told you, you make a statement to her, you're part of the problem. She lives in Rhode Island. She's very outspoken. Well said, Mr. E-Rock. And can you remember, you were on my channel years ago. We never had a problem. Of course, we didn't have the live chat. We got a lot of different folks in here, but we're all on the same page. Bridge is not a wage slave. She works in IT and she does very well. She does better than me. And she's been generous and she's got a heart. My room is not hostile. We're very passionate about what we believe. Remember, I agree with you and I disagree. Are we a wage slave or are we a slave to God? As a Christian, where are we? Our grievance, really what it boils down to is, yeah, I can complain about my wage. What does the Bible tell me to do? In everything what? Give thanks. That's not one of my strong points. We were supposed to be slaves of Christ. And I'm very outspoken about corporate America. I have often said, if you want to get rich, you have to be unethical. You have to do backdoor, backhanded, under shady deals. The Bible says you are rich in Christ. I see that as the chief moderator, I need to get this stream back into focus. So I take responsibility. I need to be thankful. It could be worse. I could be thrown to the lions. I could be standing before Muslims in Nigeria about to have my head chopped off, but no. I look at what's going on in Minneapolis. You guys want to talk about hostile? I don't care what anybody says on CNN, Warren, any of these clowns. Those protesters are hostile and toxic. Vandalism, cussing, profane, shouting, screaming, blocking federal agents. Okay, you don't like Trump. We get that. But you're interfering with an extension of the government that has been doing this for decades. I just saw a thing. I was going to post it. How many illegals were rounded up in Texas and Georgia and all these states, and nobody was protesting ICE. Only in Minneapolis. What is the problem? Minneapolis? Yes, Tish. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being in Iran? The Islamic Republic is killing its citizens and there's body bags lying in the street. Nice place. Let me back up. What'd you say? You should look at Cam Higby. He's been followed because his car was followed by anti-ICE, the same people that Alex was a part of. Also, they told him to show his ID and such. No respect for authority or rule of the law. What's my take on gun carrying in America? Our Second Amendment says Americans have the right to keep and bear arms, Audrey, and I support that. Most of these violent crimes in the US, the violent crimes are caused by people that are not conservatives, not Christians, and not red staters. People are trying to accuse ICE of being violent and having no right. I think it's funny how these idiots protesting know more about the law and what governs ICE than they do about the laws governing them, disturbing the peace. That's against the law in any city in America. Yelling, screaming, blowing whistles, beating drums, honking car horns in a residential neighborhood. Now they smashing hotel windows and graffitiing stuff. Oh, and then the Minneapolis police got involved and brought one of them thunder cannons in to disperse the crowd. Why? Well, now you're affecting hotels' ability to make money. But we don't care about the people that pay tax on their houses and they can't get their sleep. The Minneapolis PD sucks. I look strange with bare arms. Nikki, why are you leaving? Don't be leaving. I don't know what she's upset about. Did you hear that? Bridge misses you. Look, I hate conflict too, Bluegrass. And I want to say something as the head of this channel. We live in a world, and that's why most people are quiet because they're afraid. And that's why we are where we are. Should I not talk about these sensitive issues? Is that the approach we should be taking? I do need to talk about it because the Views talk about it, the Democrats are talking about it, and they're saying false things and throwing false flags all over the field. Yeah, Greg, that's just it. The Democrats shut down open dialogue. They shut it down. I do think that American companies are greedy as all get out. And I chose not to go to college because I believed it was a game. I don't agree with the college teaching of evolution. I got saved my senior year in high school. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I kind of bubbled around, just started working. Was that God's will? Did God want me to go to college? Did I miss my calling? I don't know. Is God capricious like that? Oh, well, Mike, you blew it. Elijah was a prophet of God. And there was a drought. And there was all kinds of problems in Israel. And God brought him down to a brook where he had fresh water every day. And he brought 2 ravens to feed him. Or ravens to feed him and bring him food. We do make mistakes. But thank God that God doesn't just say, well, it sucks to be you. He has given us his spirit whereby we cry, Abba, Father. I joke with Bridge, she doesn't scare me because I got to know who she is a little bit. When you're standing on the truth, we need to stop fearing. When I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, then I should be afraid. Bridge is the kind of a woman that if she'd have come on years ago, I probably would have crossed her wrongly. But God has taught me something through all this hard stuff. He's taught me something through my channel. I'm growing through this. I never would have known Bridge years ago. But over the years, God has changed me, and I'm learning that, you know what? What does the Bible say? What did Jesus, the disciples said, hey, they're casting out demons and they're not of us. God says, hold on. If they're not against us, then they're with us. If they're casting out demons, they're only doing it by the power of God, so calm down. Bridge is an individual just like me, and she's different. I've always said about myself, I'm rough cut lumber. A lot of people say, you're not polished, you're not this. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Well, don't rub your hand down my 2x4 and get a handful of splinters. That's your fault. God's working on Bridge. God's working on me. And I realize God's working with us all differently. And it's nice and self-righteous to go, well, how come, wait a minute, before you look at that person, ask yourself, how come God's shown you grace? Sometimes I'm crappy. We all have our rough edges. That's right, Tish. Maybe an inch. Supposed to start again at 8. Where you at tonight? And we all need to remember that one of the biggest problems in our country, and this isn't just unique to the Democrats, one of the problems in this country, even amongst ourselves, even among Christians, you have Christians coming on my channel jumping all over me because I'm wearing this. And they automatically assume, how can this guy be a Christian? I don't know. How can he be a Christian? You want to tell me? All who call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. If God believes that I'm doing something out of line, don't you think God's big enough to take care of that? Or do you got to play Holy Spirit and play the Holy Police? I used to do that, and I'm starting to realize where we need to draw the line is when somebody jumps into our lane and does something directly affecting us. That other stuff, let God. Hey, Dion, how are you? 8 degrees in North Carolina. Wow. All right, Di, you got the cold going on too. Hello from Indianapolis. How are you? I know it's got to be cold over there. Yes, Zach. We've seen that on this channel. We have seen plenty of those. Most of them have been blocked and banned. I love talking about the Word of God, but I can't stand it when people come in and quote the same thing over and over and hammer and yammer. And it's like, okay, do you feel like you're being a witness doing this? Do you feel like you're getting anywhere doing this? All right, I'll put my hand on my I know. I've been like, where's Bridge? Ask E-Rock. I said it a few days ago. I said, man, it is not. Where is Bridge? Audrey, who is brandishing the guns? I just established that most people running around shooting people do not align with most of us in the room and our beliefs. They're anti-Trump. They don't care about America. They don't care about the Constitution. They're just problems. Sorry, Bridge. I'm not ending the stream. Not yet. Just got the yawnsies. You know, I've talked openly on this channel. The church in America is having a problem. Our government's having a problem. People are having a problem. I touch on everything as much as I can. How do we grow? How do we get close to God? How do we have that unity just amongst believers? And I will say this, we're not going to have unity with non-Christians pretty much ever. Marvel not. Bluegrass, are you giving me crap? Oh, I gotta turn away every time. I'm gonna get pelted with snowballs in a minute. Who called you a bammer? What's this? Did I miss something? Oh, that's the nickname for Amber, by the way. Wow, Bluegrass. I know, but I go in Discord, it's a ghost town. There's cobwebs hanging up on the last message that I'm like, where is she? I go to check messages from Bluegrass and it's nothing in here. I missed out. Oh, please. Because I was yawning. You can't see if I'm yawning if we're not on the show together. I'm going to stand over here and yawn. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I got to get up and walk around. That'll help. Eat a ginger chew. Here you go, E-Rock. Your favorite candy. I'm just offending everybody tonight. I want to show you this. This is our world today. Claim your winter $49 tune-up. For just $49, our experts will clean your blower wheel, potentially lowering heating costs. Okay, I know what a blower wheel is. I can hear the gas system turn on. The wheel engages. The pilot light, you hear it go zzz, or the starter, the lighter. Then you hear the jet, and then the blower engages to blow through the house. Unless you're shooting cotton up into your vents, your blower wheel ain't going to get dusty because it's spinning. Check your gas pressure, flame operation, igniter, and pilot light. Really? If the system kicks on and there's heat coming out, the pilot works, the igniter ignited, and the gas pressure's fine. Test your breakers and the condition of your cutout switches. This is what America does. When did you have to replace breakers? Test the breakers. You know how you test them? I can do that myself. Check your thermostat and run a full performance test. You know what the performance test is? They hold a thermometer by the thermostat and see if the numbers line up. Wow, that's deep. That takes expertise, people. This is a joke. $50 for nothing. That's the men in the uniforms. Let our experts, let our team come in. You don't want your furnace breaking. Okay, you coming in and checking those things is not going to keep it from breaking down. Most of the time, they're going to come in here and they're going to tell you something's wrong that isn't, so they can sell you $15,000 worth of HVAC crap. Hey, love, how are you? Yeah, and I check my own filters at the air return. There's 2 of them. I haven't been cutting wood and doing projects in here because I save that stuff for that in between the seasons when the furnace or the AC isn't running. Because the dust is going to raise and I don't want it going all into the uptake. When I bought this house, there was a whole side under the furnace that was wide open. I'm like, nice air exchange. That's stupid. I fixed all that, framed it off. Now I got a working air exchange. It didn't have that before. There was a big, giant, gaping hole around the flue, straight into the attic. Furnace kick on, the cold air goes whoosh. Wow, who did that? And I took pieces of plywood and I started nailing, and then I shoved insulation up there. That cut down a huge amount of air coming out of the attic, freezing the bathroom. The dummies that worked on this house were the dumbest people you could imagine. They fixed something by smashing everything, breaking a hole so they could fit the chimney, and instead of completing it and redoing that cap around there, people are dumb. There's some people should never be given a hammer or a screwdriver and don't touch. Diane, I have said this for years. Stop these automobile drivers. They're the ones paralyzing and dismembering people and killing people because they don't follow the rules. They drive aggressive and dangerous. They need a psych test before they give people a license. I'm going to go as far as to say these scat packs and these dang 750 horse Hellcats, you need to be checked before you can drive one of those. Giving it to a hothead who wants to show off is a bad idea. But they don't do that. They don't require a background check to get a license to buy and drive whatever you want. Hello, Claire lad. How are you? Yeah, she's in Scotland Bridge. Anytime a country wants to push for disarming, Germany did that. Hitler rose to power. That was really awesome. The Democrats are clever. They have had control of the majority of the media in this country for a long time. They scream and yell about Fox. They scream and yell about one station against an onslaught of Democrat controlled media. I don't know who Enoch Burke is. I personally think the government has no business telling anybody what kind of a gun they can and cannot buy. Now, we cannot go buy nuclear bombs and missile silos to put in our yard to shoot ICBMs. I wouldn't let anybody have that. That's scary. Claire Lad, who is that? I can't Google him while I'm running live. Guns are not necessary anywhere. So, how do you stop problems, Audrey? How do you take the guns away from the guys that are shooting people with them? You think you're going to get that? You got a police, they're going to show up. Guy's just murdered 10 people. He's standing there with a gun. You going to go up and say, hey, can you please give me your gun now? Audrey, you're smarter than that. I know you're smarter than that. Oh, gosh, I have no idea what the Super Bowl halftime is. That Super Bowl tomorrow? Is it really tomorrow? Oh, yeah, somebody told me about that, Claire Dad. I'm sorry. I forgot who told me that. Was it you? Refused to call a student she as a student identified as female. The 8th. Okay, thank you. What's gay? I'm going to show you what's gay. This. The View. Now, that's a stupid waste of time. That and this have the same thing in common. They're both full of crap. Both of them are worthless, just like that filthy ass toilet. Pardon my French. What is the definition of murder? Murder is a deliberate action to kill somebody. You're not going to solve the problems by banning all weapons. If you think people are going to just be peaceful and all get along and sing kumbaya because you rid all the world of weapons, go tell Russia to get rid of all their nuclear warheads. Just see how far you get. Iran is trying to get uranium and nukes ready. I tell you what, there are some countries and some people you don't want to have access to that. It's pie in the sky to believe that guns is the problem. By getting rid of them, you get rid of all the carnage. Police can't do their job if they don't have guns. What are you going to do? You got a country that invades America because they believe in weapons and guns, and because we got rid of all our guns, how are we supposed to stop that threat? That argument is so irrational. Tried women clothing one time in the store saying I had size back then. I smoked some. Yes, lady, it's trash can television. View is stupid. Yeah, this is The View right here. Flies included. What do you mean you look stoned? What are y'all talking about? I'm going to say it again. Why is this woman being attacked? Ilhan Omar wants her impeached. I mean, we know Ilhan Omar has mental problems, but what is her problem with her? One, Christie's prettier than her. Two, Christie's brain works better than her. Three, she was born a U.S. citizen and doesn't hate our country. Ilhan proves her hatred towards working Americans who are prettier than her, have more mental capacity than her. She's just flat out jealous. You want to wear a diaper on your head, that's your business, but don't criticize Christy Nome. I'm feeling like our race is under attack by these leftist extremists. AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, these Minneapolis protesters. It's getting very old very fast. Thank you, love. I appreciate that. Hello, Alicia. How are you? And welcome from the UK. I am okay for a Saturday night, freezing cold Georgia, snow on the ground. Alicia, this was me not too many hours ago. It finally hit us. Oh, the weather outside is frightful. Snow in my hair is delightful. I'm wondering what happened to the South. They lied. They said global warming. This is 2 years in a row. In January, we've had snow. And for a reminder, in this part of the country, not the norm. And these clowns will continue to tell us global warming. Really, Diane? We really are a small force. And we fight a formidable foe. Who stinks? Audrey, what is your damage against our president? You don't even live over here. And you just admitted to me that you've got illegals pouring into your country. Should that have anything to do with bad leadership? Where are you at, Alicia? What state? Hello, Nicole. How are you? And thank you, Alicia. I was out in the backyard and having fun. I could have chased my tail around just for the heck of it. Still can't find it. If evolution is true, how come I don't have a monkey tail? How did that suddenly we got a separate monkey and a separate man? I've got a friend in Missouri brought up a very good point. If evolution is true, why are there still monkeys? Because they were teaching, I don't care what these people say, they're constantly adjusting their lies. They taught us back as kids we came from monkeys and primates. No, we didn't. God made the creatures before he made us. And when he made us different than creatures. Let us make man in our own image. And he breathed onto the dust. Made Adam. Caused deep sleep to fall on Adam, took a rib out of her, and fashioned a woman. We have cities and towns. I live in smaller. Alicia, that's cool. I think she left the room, Mystery Rock. I'm a little confused. She came in one day and said, "Why are you talking about this religion?" What? Religion? I've been talking about God. You're from Holland? Thank you, Alicia, because it needs to be done. And I don't hate Audrey. But, these same people were not outspoken about Biden and Kamala Harris. Word salad queen. Space. It's space. Space is space. Can you broaden that, please? That woman was embarrassing. Embarrassing to the nation. Putin was laughing when she got up to speak. Nicole, my day's over. It's night, but it was uneventful. I ran some errands this morning and waited for this snowstorm, and kept getting pushed back, and at noon it finally started to snow. Hey, Loca, I've got some lipstick up here somewhere. I don't know what brand it is. I think it's El Cheapo. Black Radiance. This color. I don't think I can put it on. If I do, people are going to have an absolute fit. Oh my gosh, I put lipstick on and watched the comments fly and the hatred. They just go crazy over that. Hello, Vivian and Alicia. I appreciate that. I'm not the most polished. I try to get along with people, but in this forum, Bluegrass saying, do it. Nicole, I'm glad you got home safe. Is it cold where you're at? Vivian, come on, everybody. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Vivian. Happy birthday to you and many more. I hope you have a good one. It is 26 a.m. You guys on military time? Vivian, we try to sing happy birthday, even if my voice is horrible for singing. We try to recognize the value of every human when it's their birthday. Your life is worth celebrating. How old are you? Do I dare ask? Or will you throw a shoe at me? You're not supposed to ask a girl her age, Michael. But you should know by now I ask anything, because my name is Michael. Got you, Alicia. When I lived in Hong Kong, 1 o'clock in the afternoon was 1300. They went on a 24-hour clock. And the military did that so there wouldn't be mistakes in paperwork and directives. I will see you at 1300. You say 1 o'clock, some smart aleck could say, 1 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Dirt. Well, it sounds like you live in a good place out in the country. That's awesome. 42. Man, when I was 42, I went to Hong Kong. Hong Kong. I chased a woman over there not knowing it would fail, but I got to live in Hong Kong. They never had fortune cookies over there. Did you know that? That's an American thing. Fortune cookies are not part of the Asian culture. That's an American thing. You have what? Who eats bugs? Did you know there's a certain amount of stuff that falls into the Hershey vats, including mice? The next time you eat a Hershey's bar, there could be mouse parts in there somewhere. Ugh. The Three Mouseketeers. You just stopped me from eating chocolates. I love it too, and I'm not going to stop eating it. I'm sorry, lady. I'm sorry, Bone White. Hello, Fnight. Oh, yesterday I lifted something and got a stitch in the arm, and it painful. I should have done a hot bath and laid down there. I should have got some Epsom salt. I'm all out of my Epsom salts. I love using that stuff. Skittles, Pringles, Diet Coke. What for, Carol? Spaghetti noodles is not an Italian event. Really? Vivian, now that's interesting. What did they recall? What was the problem? I'm gonna turn on a little heat in here. Traffic in the city downtown. La da 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 downtown. Da 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 downtown. That music was before my time, but that was good stuff. I will not apologize for liking that good stuff. Arsenic? What? I haven't been to Singapore, but I know a little bit. It takes an ungodly amount of money to live there. But yes, you don't walk down the street and throw a piece of litter. You don't spit out your gum. They will write you a ticket. They don't play. You ever notice something about the Democrats? When they take over an area, graffiti, broken windows, and trash everywhere seems to be the norm. I don't care what these cats say on the left. Look at their cities. Go look at New Jersey. Ask Bridge. Noodles does his videos from his car, graffiti on everything. A rat pop out of the Pringles can. That would not be a good thing. E-Rock caught me eating my candy again. Hey, but there's no rat poop in ginger chews. Of course, it came from China. There could be bat guano in there. Remember the movie Ice Age with that stupid squirrel? Audrey's back. Violence breeds violence, yes, but cops using guns to stop violence or threat to somebody else is not violence. Audrey, this is something you don't understand. In the book of Romans, it tells people to submit to the governing authorities. They bear not the sword in vain. So, okay, let's get rid of the guns. Back in Roman times, they used a sword. You cross certain lines, you get a sword through your gut. So do we ban swords too? What is your solution to dealing with hardened criminals? They could use a letter opener. They could use a heavy purse. Do you know what a woman puts in her purse? They can whack you across the side of the head and it's lights out. I could use my pickup as a weapon. A rock, a battery. A bus driver had a battery thrown in the back of his head years ago in Duluth. That had to feel good. Getting rid of guns doesn't solve the problem of the human heart. Where the Wild Things Are. Anybody remember that book? La 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 la. So you're saying your police in Scotland don't have guns? So how does that work out when they come on a very dangerous situation? So Audrey, what attracts you to this channel? You obviously are against my views, and pretty much everybody else in here. What makes you come here? If I can just be honest, what's the draw? Yeah, I mean, you're kind of harping now. We've moved on to other stuff, and you're going on about guns still. You get rid of guns, there will be other weapons. Well, you just said you managed without guns, so you're contradicting. All right, Audrey, you just got yourself hit, and that's on you. And I did ask a question, you didn't answer me. I don't live a violent life. Michael does not live a violent life. But I support our Constitution. I am like the coward of the county. Walk away from trouble when you can. I don't like violence. I don't like blood and guts. I don't like horror movies. And I'm going to stand up for what I believe. I try to take the way of peace. I try to live my life to be away from all that. But the time could come when they start killing us. They did to Charlie Kirk. And he had a gun. Tyler did. Charlie didn't have one. Tyler did. Tyler shot a man who was preaching the gospel. What a coward. He couldn't get down on the ground and debate him. He had to get a gun and shoot him because he didn't like what he had to say. I'm going to say it again. The most dangerous people to the family, to the Word of God, and to Christians, and to the Constitution, and the safety and sanity of this country are the Democrats. I will never apologize for that. They've ruined the school system. They've ruined the media. They've ruined Hollywood. You can't watch a movie without them injecting some toxic crap in there. It's ridiculous. Casper the Friendly Ghost. Alicia, I like you. You'll fit right in. Oh, gosh, I'm getting hot. Should I get sexy? Oh, baby, let's do it. Let's lighten up a little bit. It's getting too crazy in here. Show some skin, girl. Wow, I like that. There we go. Make myself right at home in my house. I like that. I like that feel. It's sexy. Interesting, Carol. And I know you guys use good restraint. I appreciate that. Thank you. But I agree. Enough is enough. And Audrey, if you can hear me, I don't hate you, but you leave and then you come back in with your fangs out. You didn't answer my question why you were here. And can you remember? I know you from a long time ago, and I tried to warn you, be careful what you say to Bridge. You can disagree with somebody, but when you say to her, and then Iraq, you're the part of the problem. Iraq and Bridge are not the part of the problem. They, like me, are tired of all this evil crap in this country. Now, I don't know if you guys are lurking around, but I needed to say that. And I'm sure you'll think I'm a traitor for allowing it, but this channel's different. I know you're not a troll, but we are trolls. And that's calmed way down. Thank you, Bridge. I don't even watch her. I put her on hide. That whole thing is a symptomatic sign of the times that mental trash is real. She doesn't have anything. She has no content. She's, part emo, part I don't know what. She had an OnlyFans channel. She got pictures of Instagram being somewhat inappropriate. And I just determined she's not for me. Well, I don't understand what's up people's butt crack tonight, to be honest with you. Two people just come in here loaded with wage slaves and the whole gun thing. It's like, okay, you don't want a gun, don't buy one. And if you don't want to work and you don't want to be a wage slave, then sit on your butt. But I have to make money to pay my bills. I thank God I have a house. I tell you what, I saw in the news today in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly shove, is snowing. And people live in those, the houses are right on the street, very little parking. Somebody shovels their spot out, puts their car in there. They go to work. They'd like to come back and park in front of their house and put a cone there. And when somebody comes up and takes the spot that the homeowner shoveled, then there's a fight break out. I remember in Spokane, we had 4 feet of snow. My truck was buried. And when things started, they couldn't get the plow down the street. It snowed so bad, I hadn't gone out that day, thank God. My truck was nice and parked at the curb and slocked in by snow. One day, as people tried to dig out their parking space, I dug out mine and I thought, I'll be damned if somebody's going to come and steal my damn spot. And I parked right in front of my residence in the fourplex. And most people respected each other's spot on that street. It was bumper to butt. All those houses have been turned into 2 or 4plexes. And everybody, for the most part, respected each, like, don't do that. Don't do that. Out east, no, they're just going to get stupid. They said, the police said you can't put chairs and sofas and trash cans and cones to block your space. And I want to say to the cop, well, why not? People go to work, they're trying to find a parking space. The city, when all those cars are gone, should have cleaned all that snow out, dum-dums. That'd be the time to bring the plow down when everybody goes to work. I don't know. Society's retarded. Retarded. I trolled some vegans. Hey, Carol, what do you call a vegan on diarrhea? Salad shooter. I love this top bridge. This feels so awesome. Makes me feel very, very, very aroused. Women's clothing is so much better. It really is. And I love it when people come in here and assume that I'm not a Christian because I wear this top or something. Now that's the height of dumbness. The height of dumbness. My own idioms. I was here one night. My friend, a black woman, a bunch of us had come from work. It was like the day before Thanksgiving vacation. We all went to a restaurant. We'd agreed to meet there. 2 were in there. The one lady called me and said, will you help me find a parking spot? I said, I'll come right out. So I come out and she stopped. There's a guy and a gal getting in a pickup truck. And there's an open space next to the pickup. And a white guy sitting in a small little 2-door car blocking the road. And I said, what are you doing? He ignored me. The window was open. I said, come on. I motioned her. She started to go around him. The guy speeds up and almost hits her. And I said, what are you doing? I'm waiting to park. I said, I asked you what you're doing. You didn't answer me. Now you're going to hit this woman? You run into her car, you're going to have a problem, boo. And I said, you people in the South got issues. You could have told me what you're doing. They're getting in the truck. You could have parked in that parking space. You're blocking the road. I figure she can go in the parking space. I don't know what you're doing, dude. I ain't going to play guessing games. He shut his mouth. He said, you hit her car. You are going to have a problem because I will tell the police what you did and you are going to lose this one. I was pissed. And she's a black woman. She said, Mike, I'm just going to go. I said, no, you're not. I said, that little Southern boy better watch what he's doing. He was a grown man. I was hot as a cat on a hot tin roof. And sometimes it's okay. Guy going to play aggressive like that. Well, hi, Cheryl. I forgot to tell you, Colette messaged me the other day. She said she's struggling, but she's still holding on. Tell you what, life is tough for some people. She's in the hospital. Don't you dare say Jesus Christ is a cuss word, Warhorse. Get out of here. It's none of your business what I wear. You want to talk tough to me? Go play somewhere else. You're not a warhorse. Cheryl, you have to get on Discord to do it. Thank you, Bluegrass. I appreciate you showing that fine person the door. Horse's ass is more like it. And then he asked if I'm a top or a bottom. I'm neither, buddy. Wrong place. Oh, here we go. Michael, do you need to be shown the door? Are you one of those self-righteous Christians? Bye. Michael can tell me to turn from when he lives here and goes through what I go through. I promise you, Michael couldn't do what I do. I had a discussion with the moderator today. I called Tanya and talked to her. Tanya's a good egg. She's going through her own struggles up there in Pennsylvania. And I told her, I like wearing this stuff. I'm weird. I'm different. And though it may not be normal or Christian acceptable, I don't drink. I don't gamble. I don't buy lotto tickets. I don't do drugs. And I'll be honest, maybe I am messed up. In fact, I am. I have a fetish for wearing women's tops sometimes. I like to feel sexy. I lived my life trying to do everything right, and that wasn't good enough, even after I became a Christian. I'm going to a church. I've done nothing wrong. Nobody reaches out. Nobody calls. Nobody checks on me. And, I didn't go to church last weekend because it did start to ice on Sunday. And I'm not being rude. My own pastor didn't even call and check on me because, really, at the end of the day, nobody cares. That's the world we're living in today. Thank you, Alicia. I am wearing 3 men's shirts. Yes, Friday was much better, Blob, and I thank you for that. It's easier to deal with machinery than people. Thank you, lady. You know what? And I'm honest about things. I've had my problems. And I still do and still will. I don't know why it is. People like to say, repent, repent, repent. You repent. You turn from your craziness. There's a lot of things we all need to turn from. But let me encourage everybody, when we cried out to God and trusted Him as Savior, that was the beginning of the turn. God is setting us in a new direction. Does everything go away like frosted Lucky Charms or magically delicious? No. But we have turned from darkness to light. Excuse me, sir, ma'am, if I'm not going at the speed you think I ought to. Really, that's how we need to address this whole thing. No pun intended. What is wrong with a man being in touch with himself? What if I like my body? What if I'm aging and I know one day it's not going to be pretty to look at? I'm going to have wrinkles and I'm going to have saggy nipples and old man everything. But I like my body. I won't have long to enjoy this because I'm going to get older. And I agree, Alicia, and thank you, Mr. Rock. Well said. I want to be magically delicious. You probably are, but unfortunately, you're one flavor for one man. Not unfortunately, but I can't taste that because somebody already ordered that flavor out of the Baskin Robbins ice cream container. It's not available anymore. Now we're down to 30 flavors. You are cute, and you know it. I don't consider myself cute, but I certainly don't believe I'm a dog. I love all the ugly comments I get by grown men. You call me ugly, and then you're telling me I look gay. Why are you judging my looks if you're calling me gay and you're not gay? That's gay. Good night. Remember Garfield? When his little cousin, the little kitten Nermal would come, and Nermal would say, I'm cute. And Garfield's like, whatever. What do people think about having sex before marriage? Well, I don't know about age, but the Bible says we're not supposed to. Christ follower, it's cold in Georgia too. Snowing in Oklahoma. Oklahoma, where the wind comes rushing down the... I never did see the Oklahoma musical. Snapshot, what part of Florida are you in again? You'd think I'd remember this. You're all the way south. It's not snowing where you're at. You're Cape Coral, right? Really cool. That was a bit ago I talked about her, but I think you were the one that responded. My thing about Roma, she was so foul. She's cute. I mean, her body's attractive, but her mouth, I was like, my gosh. And I don't hate Roma, but I was turned off by her bridge. I actually saw her a couple of years ago. I'm like, who is this? She was caustic. And she rubbed me as really uppity and just vulgar as all get out. And I didn't see the heart. I thought you had responded to my comment when I'd said something. Somebody responded saying she's removing the tattoo, she was abused, and I appreciated that. See, on the front end, I look at certain things. I'm like, why is her channel blowing up? Because a bunch of guys are in heat over her. I mean, that really, really is the truth of it. Guys are attracted to chicks that are rough, tough, covered in tats. And me, I'm not even on the auction block with most of today's women. Bridge, but I got to know you. You're not putting yourself on YouTube like she is. I got to know you. I'm just listen to you. You and your high opinion. You're so cute. I wish I could say I love everybody. I don't. I don't like everybody. I don't believe in promoting hate and violence. Did you all hear about that? Ilhan got sprayed in the face. They're saying that was all staged. All of that was staged. I guess she was another one like Elizabeth Warren want to say I'm a Native American and Ilhan Omar want to say some conservative attacked me. Yeah, right. Yeah, it seemed like it, Carol. She did, but I also saw a bunch of simp men in heat lusting after her. She's attractive. I admit, this here, all this dark, I call it like a tree trunk. And she was wearing a lot of this stuff. And I admit, one of the reasons I started dressing this way is I wanted to do an experiment. Women can get on YouTube and they're like this, hi guys. And all the guys are slobbering. And if I come on there and say, wow, we got a slut tease going on. Oh my gosh, the hatred and the anger and the rage I'd get. So I thought, well, let me wear a top like that and watch what those same men, why are you wearing that? Why are you wearing that? What's the matter with you? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's okay for her to wear it and y'all slobber and lust. But if I want to wear it, then you got a problem. Funny how that works. Snap, Northerners come to pick up need to come and pick up your weather. It's in our backyard. Thank you, Alicia. They are. I can't stand them. She looks beastly. And when I heard her talk and I saw her, I'm like, yes, she's standing up for men's issues. She's accurately talking about a lot of this is what bothers me. And I'm going to be real blunt. Way before Roma came along, there was Pacific. Way before. I was talking about the way Western women have become, how they're trashing us, we're not good enough for them. Now she comes along, and because she's got a pair of tots, she get on there and, oh, meteoric rise to popularity. And I have watched, and I've talked to E-Rock about this. I've talked with Mob. I've talked with Tanya. I've talked with Nikki. A lot of these channels that women start, it's not because of the content. It's the L factor. That's it. If I'm a woman, I'm showing this much skin, you guys are going stupid. Roma is a YouTube artist, and she has tattoos all down the neck, and she's rough. And I was just like, no. And I spoke about her, I don't know how long ago, it was a while ago. American Girl, and that's true. Look at Mungo Jerry. In the summertime, I got women. He wore a fishnet shirt and a girl's scarf, and he had mutton chops. You look at people, and nobody said a word back then. The family is under attack, absolutely. Coop, you didn't do anything wrong. Um, is E-Rock in my Discord? We don't even use it anymore, so I can't remember. E-Rock, are you in my Discord? Yeah. He and I just pick up the phone now. I need to say, I don't hate Roma. I don't know her. I've been scarred, hated. Let me give some background. So, years ago, when I was in Duluth, they gave me a route in the middle of the day, and it was the teen moms, girls who gotten pregnant through the Duluth school system. I would pick them up at one place and take them to a place where they could get their schooling, tattoos, smoking cigarettes when I pulled up. They could smoke outside. I had to wait 5 minutes. I had to put out their cigarettes, get on the bus. They were nasty, they were unfriendly, full of hatred. I thought, who had sex with these women? Because they really wasted their time. And they're about to be mamas, and they are atrocious. They were rude to me. I drove smooth, and I said, excuse me, you do not need to talk to me. I'll talk any way I want. I said, well, no, you can't. I don't know what you got an axe to grind, but I'm just your driver. And if I tell you don't come in here with that cigarette lit up, I got that right. It's a school bus. Now put it out there, but don't bring it on here. I've had a history of Roma women. I've been cauterized. I don't get into women's grill. They've gotten into mine. The blue-haired non-lib. I got to know Bridge. I didn't get to see a channel. I didn't get to see her portraying herself this or that. If things would be so different. It would be so different if we as a people in this country would stop building walls. And I don't try to. I tried to climb the walls. I tried to build bridges. And I am telling you, after 59 years of living, especially out here, there are some people you cannot build a bridge with. Sometimes you have to blow up the bridge and go the other way. I believe every one of you would agree with me on that. You've tried. You try to build your little bridge over the River Kwai, well, forget it. The enemy's laying charges at the footings. You did that. Oh, you did a snow angel? Do you want me to send that? Oh, you can send that to Colette too. I keep forgetting. Duh, you're on. Gosh, I'm stupid. You and I don't talk on Discord. I forgot you and I are both on there, but somebody else in the room's on there and she leaves me messages and it makes me so happy. She's pretty too, and she's Irish. Piro El Piro. I don't know what that means. Lady, are you still in here? Oh, yeah, we got an inch. It's dark now. Look, I took a picture of myself. I did a short too, right when it started. That's what it looked like in my backyard today. Isn't that a far cry from this? Little perspective there. That's my yard normally. And this is the yard today. Clap on, clap off. Poop emojis crack me up. I love that contrast. Isn't that cool? Tina said she's going to build another snowman at her house. 9 inches. And most of it is weeds, Coop. I just mow my yard. It is so green in Georgia. If I did not do my yard, it would take less than 2 years. About 3 years, this house would be totally encased in vines and ivy. It is, the stuff here is unbelievable. Oh, the hose. Yep, when I lived in Duluth, it was ICO, Inner City Oil. And I would see those guys struggling to uncoil that big rubber hose and walk through all that snow to get to the nozzle, the filler tube. There you are, lady. She gave me a green Irish heart. I love that. Oh, man, if we get a few days of the rain and the wetness, there's shrooms all over my yard. I don't know if they're edible or not. My goats make it look like an F5 tornado went through my... Yes, look, that's today, Sniper. That's the backyard. 2 years in a row now, January. I mean, I went out when it was starting to really come down, but it was short-lived. They said 4 inches. We didn't get that. We should look. We should look and see if it's snowing. They said it was going to snow. It was going to return at 8 for a whole hour and then quit. Oh. Let's see what we got. Lady. La da 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 da. Got some wind. Oh, let's get the screen share off. Green screen, whatever I call it. It's my thin little window. Yep, we got some moon trying to come through. It's be colder than a witch's boob in a brass bra tonight. I'm actually going to drip the kitchen faucet just to be safe. It's the hours I'm asleep. I don't want that pipe to freeze and explode. But I was told just to drip it, just like this. I watched the news. You don't have to run it. You just drip it. I'm trying to figure out how much water drips. So my pipe is comes up inside the porch, and I've got it insulated, but the wind is blowing straight out of the north. The front of the house faces north, and yeah, boy, is it cold. That attic is so poorly insulated, it's not even funny. Now, did I Turn that off. I get so used to doing things. Nope, we got it. Now the hot water heater not going to freeze because the hot water heater's in the house. The cold water line, I rerouted it. The water line, the hot water was up in the attic until this last year. I moved it in under the ceiling and boxed it all in and insulated it. So my weakest point is by the back of the house where the old hose spigot used to be, where it comes through an elbow, but I've wrapped insulation around that because that did freeze. 3 years ago, we had 11 degrees and it froze in that steel knuckle back there. All I did was get my space heater, extension cord, run it for a few minutes. That was all it took. Thank God nothing burst. Problem with PVC, if it bursts, it rips open like a seam. And that I don't want. That's the problem. I don't like living down here because freezing weather these houses are not designed for this kind of stuff. Tina, you're awesome. Yes, I saw that, Debbie. I have no doors to the sink. It's all open. I got about an inch. They had forecasted 4 inches. We didn't make that. But after this hour, there's no more snow. Oh, I'm so glad my hair is growing back. I don't like, I miss my mane. That would have felt good right now with all this cold. Debbie, how are you? Welcome to this wonderful world of chat. Bluegrass, I've had a hard time. And the people down here, oh my gosh, they really hate the long hair. Well, welcome from the UK. We get a lot of UK, Scotland, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand. I love it. I don't think we've ever had anybody in here from France, Austria, Switzerland, Poland, Denmark. I'd be curious to see Poland. Coop, thanks for coming in. I hope you have a good evening and be safe and be warm. Birmingham. I've been to Birmingham, Alabama, but I haven't been to Birmingham, UK. Oh, yeah. Well, it's warm in my room because I wouldn't be sitting here. Putting on that little space heater takes the chill off. I've got the regular gas furnace. Smethwick. What is 2 comma 19 hours? Half French, half English. Wow. Somebody in France decided to get romantic with the Brits. Oh, you got a girlfriend far away? Well, at least you guys aren't half-ass. Yes. Yes, Tina, I had ground chicken noodles and veggies. Different noodles, not the ones I bought oh, what kind? They were made out of chickpea flour. They were pretty good. Irish is good. They say you're Russian, Carol. We got a guy that works with us. He's from Louisiana and he looks Russian. And we come to work and I said, I thought I saw you at a coffee shop in Kiev. He's got that Russian style beard and he's just got that look about him. Yes, it was a wonderful coffee shop, by the way. I thought so. You frequent it quite often. We got this little stupid story going. I think it's awesome he got arrested. Nah, Cheryl, I'm good. It's the weekend. The weekend goes by too fast. I think Lemon should have been arrested. You do not have a right to interfere with a place of worship. There has to be a line in the sand. Oh, this guy isn't Russian. He said, I've been told. No, he's born and raised in America. He just looks Russian. Yeah, they arrested him. Of course, he pulled every card. What a clown. And you know what's fun? Everybody in here in chat last night was having fun saying, well, you can go to jail and eat at the all you can eat buffet. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I have a feeling his butt won't even land in a regular jail. He got special privileges. You watch. Don Lemon was not a reporter. No. He stormed the church with the anti-ICE protest because the pastor respected ICE and, believed in following the law on the land that you respect authority. And they were protesting him for his stance. Or the other one I heard is an ICE agent attended that church. I don't know. Thank you, Tina. Hey, cover up. Was he CNN or NBC? Oh, Lemon was arrogant. I don't like arrogance in anybody, and he had it. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. I did not realize how prophetic those songs were when I was a kid. So it was CNN. I kept saying NBC. Let's get the facts straight. ABC is all bull crap. CBS is constant bullshit. And NBC is nothing but crap. CNN is the clown news network. PBS is a puberty broadcast system because they're funded by LGBT. And NPR is nothing public. Redundancy. And not necessarily, Alicia. Not necessarily. In the summer, I wish I could put a dang iceberg out on the street. You ever seen those icebergs that just drift? There's houses on those rocky islands, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, and these icebergs just drift by, and you're looking out your living room window, and there's a mountain of iceberg just floating. That is so cool. He looks like Steve Urkel. Well, thank you, Cover Up. We try to be a voice of sanity in a sea of chaos. I'm different. I'm a little eccentric, but my mind works good. I wanted to live there a long time ago, Cheryl, but that got out of my system. When you get older, you don't want to be colder. Even now, today, I did very little, nothing, zero. Thank you for that, Cover Up. I got tired. I would not do something because people get offended. I said, why am I doing what I'm doing just to make everybody happy? I'll try something, get it out of my system. Alicia, the temperatures down here in the summer, it is so humid and sweaty wet. Georgia's a bit much for me. I suppose I better hit the hay. Appreciate your prayers. Appreciate you for coming. You guys be safe, be warm. Lord willing, we'll be back again tomorrow. Wow, it was horrendous. Thank you, Cover Up. Debbie, thanks for coming in. Cheryl, Max. Oh, Max, you're coming in. I'm signing off. I'm sorry. Lady, thank you for coming in. Ricky, yawn. See, Ricky's responsible. You see Ricky yawn, and it just makes me go, oh, like that. Oh. Bridge already left here. I didn't even see her sneak out. Tina, Carol, Stereo, everybody, E-Rock. Everybody have a good one. Till